Chosen one. This message is not an accident. It found you at the exact moment you were meant to receive it. You didn't stumble upon this video. For too long, they pushed you, tested you, and underestimated what you carry. They smiled to your face, but plotted behind your back. They tried to bury you, but they didn't know you were a seed. And now something has shifted. Not just in the spirit, but in the unseen hands of divine justice. Because when heaven sees someone chosen being targeted, it doesn't stay silent forever. Hear what's about to happen. The one who tried to ruin your name. The ones who celebrated your pain. The ones who said, "You'll never rise again." God is allowing a force, a righteous, roaring force, to bring everything crashing down. Not by your hands, not through revenge, but through divine destruction. The same people who tried to destroy you are now standing in the path of what they can't escape. You're not the same person they once knew. You've been tested in fire. You've walked through silent battles no one saw. You held back tears just to keep going. You fought demons in the dark while pretending to smile in the light. But now the realm you serve is done waiting. Someone is about to lose everything because they tried to touch what was never theirs to touch. They didn't understand. When they came for you, they came against your calling. And heaven always defends its investment. Keep your peace. Don't clap back. Don't explain yourself. Don't lower your voice to match their noise. Because destruction is near. Not for you, but for those who thought your pain was funny. Chosen one. You're about to witness something you never expected. A complete reversal. The ones who stood high while you were low. The ones who mocked your delay. Who whispered lies to others about your journey. Who pretended to care while secretly hoping you'd fail. They're about to watch you rise. And here's the twist. They won't be able to stop it. They'll try to downplay it. They'll question it. But deep down they'll know. This is divine. This is the kind of rise only God can orchestrate. You didn't fight back. You didn't get bitter. You stayed planted. You stayed silent. And now the silence is about to speak louder than anything. Because when God elevates someone, He doesn't need permission. He doesn't ask the crowd. He doesn't consult your enemies. He prepares a table in front of them. So don't flinch when you start hearing their panic. Don't shrink when your name comes up again, this time in awe. Because this isn't just a comeback. It's a reckoning. The people who tried to break you are going to see it with their own eyes. You were never the one to play with. Their pride blinded them. They thought your silence was weakness. They thought God forgot about you. But what they didn't know was that every delay was a setup. Every quiet night was preparation. Every broken moment was building something unshakable inside you. And now, the one who tried to destroy you, they've triggered their own downfall. Because the chosen are protected. Not just spiritually, but strategically. What they tried to stop is now unstoppable. And no apology can undo the judgment their own actions called down. Chosen one. You're not just rising. You're being positioned. And not just in front of crowds, but in front of the very systems, voices, and structures that once rejected you. The same doors that were slammed in your face are about to open without you even knocking. This is why the enemy worked so hard to break you down. This is why the attacks felt so personal. Why the betrayal cut so deep. Why the isolation was unbearable. Because your calling was never small. And the higher the calling, the greater the warfare. But here's the truth they couldn't see. You weren't being punished, you were being hidden. God had to conceal you while He corrected the battlefield. Because had you stepped out too early, you would have walked into traps dressed like blessings, into friendships laced with jealousy, into opportunities poisoned with sabotage. So he slowed you down, not to hurt you, but to protect your crown. Now, he's releasing you. And this release isn't soft. It's not subtle. It's going to be loud. So loud, even your silence will echo. So powerful, even your enemies will have to acknowledge. You were chosen all along. Don't be surprised when people start pretending they always believed in you. They'll rewrite history to make themselves look loyal. They'll post about you, smile at you, try to stand next to your victory like they helped build it. But you'll know. You remember the silence. You remember who clapped when you fell, who vanished when you needed just one voice to speak for you. And now, those same voices are being muted by divine judgment. Not because you cursed them, but because heaven keeps the receipts, chosen one. This is the hour where God reveals what he was doing behind the scenes. The delays weren't denials, they were divine redirections. He was building something in secret that couldn't be tainted by the wrong people. That's why your circle got smaller. That's why relationships suddenly ended. That's why people walked away without warning. It wasn't rejection. It was protection. He saw what you couldn't. He heard the conversations behind your back. He caught the intentions they tried to hide behind fake smiles. So now he's making it known. No one can curse what he has chosen to bless. No lie can hold back truth forever. No scheme can outlast divine strategy. The more they tried to block you, the more heaven took notes. And now those notes are turning into action. There is a force rising on your behalf, a spiritual retaliation that doesn't come through bitterness, but through breakthrough, through undeniable favor, through impossible doors swinging open at the exact time they need to. Not because you forced it, not because you begged for it, but because it was always yours. You weren't forgotten. You were being sharpened. And now that edge is cutting through every lie, every delay, every wall that tried to hold you back. The ones who thought they won when you were silent are about to be silenced by what God is about to do through you. Chosen one. There is no stopping what has already been written. You are stepping into a timeline that cannot be reversed. This is the moment where divine justice begins to echo, loud, unapologetic, and undeniable. And those who tried to erase your name, they're about to see it written in places they never thought you'd reach. This is more than vindication. This is restoration with interest. For every year the locusts ate, for every tear that soaked your pillow in silence, for every no you got while others were celebrated, heaven is returning it multiplied. Because you did fold. You didn't lose yourself chasing revenge. You didn't play their games. You let God handle what you couldn't. You stayed aligned. You stayed loyal to the mission, even when the mission was lonely. And now, that loyalty is paying off in ways even you didn't see coming. Prepare for tables to turn, for roles to reverse, for the unseen sacrifices to become the very reason you're crowned in public. They laughed when you had nothing. They ignored you when you were invisible. They called you delusional for holding on to the vision. But the vision wasn't yours. It was divine. And now that same vision is about to manifest in real time. Not to prove them wrong, but to prove that God was right to choose you. So don't panic when it starts. Don't fear the noise. Don't second-guess your seat at the table. You earned this in silence. Now you will reign in clarity. Chosen one. You're not just walking into a breakthrough. You're becoming the breakthrough. for your family, for the generation that comes after you, for every person who quietly watched you suffer and still believed in you. This rise isn't just about vindication, it's about legacy. Your scars are about to speak louder than their opinions. Your journey is about to become a map for others trapped in darkness. Because God never wastes pain. And yours wasn't random. Every loss you took, every door that shut, every betrayal you endured. It was all part of the construction. They saw failure, but heaven saw formation. They thought they buried you. But the truth is, you were being planted. And now that seed is breaking the surface. But let this be clear. This rise will offend the ones who only loved you when you were struggling. There are people who secretly preferred your weakness, who only supported you as long as you stayed beneath them. The moment you outgrow the version they were comfortable with, they'll start to question your growth. They'll call it pride. They'll say you've changed. And they're right, you have. You've evolved. You've expanded. You've aligned with the version of you that was always hidden underneath the hurt. And now that version is no longer hiding. It's leading. This is why the warfare was intense. This is why it felt like everything was against you. Because what's on you was never meant to blend in. It was meant to stand out and shake systems, chosen one. You were never meant to fit into the spaces they tried to keep you in. You were never designed to shrink yourself to make others feel secure. That's why every time you tried to dim your light, something inside you still burned. That's why no matter how much they tried to convince you that you were too much, your spirit wouldn't bow. Because what's inside you refuses to die. It refuses to conform. It refuses to be silenced just to keep the peace. You're not just carrying purpose. You are carrying disruption. You shake foundations when you speak. You expose hidden motives just by showing up. You trigger people not because of what you do, but because of what you represent: truth, clarity, authority. This is why they tried to label you, to contain what they couldn't control. But their words fell short. Because you were never shaped by public opinion. You were forged in fire by the hand of God. Now that fire is about to consume everything that once stood in your way. The fake friends, the spiritual parasites, the silent saboteurs, the internal doubts they tried to plant in your mind. None of it can survive this next level. Because the version of you that's emerging now is fully armored. This is not a soft rise. This is not gentle elevation. This is a heaven-backed takeover of every space that once rejected you. And no one, not even the people who knew your past, can stop what's coming for your future. They had their chance to honor you in private. Now they'll be forced to watch you in public. Chosen one, you're about to become the evidence. The living proof that God does not lose battles, especially not the ones fought for his chosen. They tried to count you out because they couldn't see results. But what they didn't realize is, God does his best work in silence. While they were mocking, he was molding. While they were doubting, he was designing. While they were laughing, he was lifting you. And now that silent preparation is over. This next phase of your life is going to be loud. Unapologetically loud. Loud with favor. Loud with doors opening. Loud with miracles they swore would never happen for you. But don't be surprised when the same people who tried to curse you with their words start trying to align with you. Not because they've changed, but because your elevation now benefits them. Discern wisely. This is the hour where access must be earned, not given. Because everyone who clapped for you isn't loyal. Some are just loud when it's convenient. You've outgrown fake support. You've outgrown half-hearted praise. You've outgrown rooms where you have to beg to be understood. This is the season of divine placement, not based on who you know, not based on manipulation, but based on assignment. And your assignment is too big to be surrounded by small minds. You've wasted enough time explaining yourself. Now you let the fruit speak. You let the results speak. You let the move of God on your life speak. And it will speak louder than every lie they ever told. Chosen one. There is a shift happening in the spirit that cannot be undone. And this shift has your name written on it. You've entered a realm where things are no longer happening to you. They're happening through you. You're not just being blessed. You're becoming the vessel that redefines what blessing looks like. The people who thought you were fragile, they're about to be stunned by your resilience. The ones who mistook your humility for weakness, they're about to witness your roar. Because this rise isn't about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving heaven right. Proving that obedience, faith, and integrity still carry weight. That you can be overlooked by people and still be handpicked by God. There's no going back to who you were. The pain changed you. The pressure refined you. And now you've become untouchable in ways the enemy never saw coming. This is why things had to break the way they did. You didn't lose those relationships by accident. You didn't get shut out of those places by coincidence. It was all part of a divine setup to separate you before he revealed you. Because the revelation of your true identity could never be handed out casually. It had to come after the crushing, after the silence, after the long nights where you questioned if you'd ever see the light again. Now that light is here. Not a soft flicker, but a blazing fire of clarity, purpose, and undeniable favor. And no one, not their gossip, not their jealousy, not their witchcraft, can reverse what's been sealed over your life. You're not waiting for alignment anymore. You are the alignment. The atmosphere shifts when you walk in. The spiritual temperature changes when you open your mouth. And every demonic force that once mocked you now trembles when they hear your name, chosen one. There's a reason the warfare increased right before this moment. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't a threat. And you are a threat to every system built on lies, manipulation, and control. You carry a purity that this world can't counterfeit, a fire that religion can't explain, a frequency that darkness cannot mimic. That's why they tried to wear you down with distractions, tried to bind your hands with fear, tried to flood your mind with doubt. But what they didn't see coming was the version of you that refused to die, the one who stood in the storm, unseen, unheard, and still unshaken. You've been trained in hidden places. You've been anointed in silence. And now, you're being released to take territory, not just in the physical, but in the spirit, in your bloodline, in your mind, in places your ancestors were too afraid to touch. You're breaking cycles that go back generations. You're healing wounds that didn't even start with you. And that's why this battle felt so heavy. Because it was never just about you. It was about everything that would shift once you stood up. Everything that would collapse once you refused to bow. Everything that would be rebuilt when you chose alignment over approval. So understand this. You're not stepping into a normal season. You're stepping into a territorial takeover. One that's going to require your full presence, your full authority, your full obedience. You can't play small here. You can't apologize for your light. You can't dim your fire just to keep lukewarm people comfortable. Because this fire, it's divine, and it's consuming everything that was built to keep you small. Chosen one, You've been too quiet for too long, and they mistook your silence for surrender. But what they didn't know is, God was sharpening your sword in secret. He was rebuilding your strength layer by layer. Not for defense, but for dominion. You weren't hiding, you were being hidden for a moment like this. Now the veil is lifting. The covering is being removed. And the mantle you carry is too heavy to be ignored anymore. You are not coming back the same. You're not returning to familiar spaces just to be accepted. You're being sent. With power, with clarity, with orders straight from the throne room. And this time, you won't be explaining yourself. You won't be shrinking to make others feel big. You won't be tolerating dishonor disguised as concern. You've seen too much. You've walked through fires that would have incinerated most people. But you came out refined, not ruined. And now that refinement is your authority. Everything that mocked you in the last season, it's about to watch you be crowned in this one. And there will be no confusion about who did it. It wasn't luck. It wasn't connections. It wasn't chance. It was God. The same God who sat with you when you had no strength left. The same God who kept your heart beating when everything inside you felt broken. The same God who blocked doors, not to hurt you but to preserve you. And now that same God is walking you into a space where your very presence is going to unsettle systems. Your footsteps will carry a frequency hell cannot decode. Your words will carry weight that breaks false narratives. Your life will carry proof that divine authority doesn't need human permission. Chosen one, you didn't survive hell to play it safe now. You didn't walk through betrayal, rejection, and silence just to stay in the background. You are a warrior marked by fire, carrying a mission that cannot be delayed any longer. This is not the time to doubt your power. This is not the time to second-guess your position. This is the time to move with authority. Heaven has cleared the path. The enemy has been exposed. And everything that tried to bury you is about to witness your rise. So rise. Take the ground. Speak with fire. Walk with precision. You are not coming to blend in. You are coming to disrupt. Every system that tried to silence you is shaking. Every chain that once held you is breaking. Every lie they spoke about you is being crushed by truth. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them wonder how you're still standing. But don't you dare hold back. And if your spirit knows this word was for you, subscribe to Chosen Core. This is where warriors awaken. This is where the broken rise. This is where the chosen take ground. Stand up, speak out, move now. Because the next battle won't wait. And you were born to win it.